Hi, everybody. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about Billy Joel, go through his discography, do a top 10 album list, and pick out some favorite songs, and tell you why I think he may be one of the more underrated songwriters out there. I don't think he gets the credit he deserves, although he's been very successful and has had a lot of hits throughout his career. He still isn't thought of as a songwriter. I think he's just thought of as a hit machine and a pop artist. But anyway, that we'll get to that. First, I want to single out a couple of people that have really reached out and befriended me and given me a lot of support. Other members of the VC, I'm talking about two of them in particular. Number one is Glenn Kellaway from The Basement, guy from Toronto, a real nice man. He's given me a shout out on his weekly wrap up. He's made some nice comments to me in my videos, and I really, really appreciate that. He's a regular guy like me. He's about my age, so we have a lot of common interest. I think he's way more diverse than I am because he is into more of the blues and jazz and things like that. He plays the banjo, which is cool. Another thing we have in common, he's from Canada. He's a big Toronto Maple Leafs fan, lifelong fan of the Leafs. I am from the Philadelphia area. I'm a Flyer fan, so our teams have gone to battle many times over the years. Sometimes he comes up on the big end of his stick, and sometimes the Flyers have hammered them pretty well. So it's cool. I like the competitive nature of those two teams. Anyway, Glenn Kellaway from The Basement. Great channel. Support him. I'll have the link down below. Thank you, Glenn. The other one I'd like to really single out is Shannon Talks Music. In my opinion, she has the best channel on the VC. Now, I haven't seen them all, but the ones I've seen, hers are the most informative. She's awesome at putting these things together. They're well organized, thought out, structured. She's passionate about the artists that she features, which I appreciate, and consistently great, I would say her videos are. And I've told her this in the comments, and I'm not making it up. I admire the way she puts together videos every single time out. They're quality, and I only hope that I could get near that level, and I'm way far away from it. As you can see, my subscriptions are low, and nobody's really paying attention to me, which that's not really the reason I'm doing this. I'm doing this to put my stuff out there, my opinions out there, so when I'm dead and gone, my relatives can look me up and see what I was into at the time. Anyway, Shannon Talks Music, another incredible channel on the VC. She's been so kind to me. I really appreciate it. Her and Glenn both. If you are not a member of their, or you're not a subscriber to their channels, please do so. Thank you very much. Just as I was editing this video, I got another surprising and much appreciated shout out, this time from Robert's On My Turntable, another Canadian guy, real friendly guy, who reached out and did a shout out to me and my channel on his latest video. And I can't say thank you enough to Robert for that. This is a guy that I enjoy watching. He's very mellow, real gentle, laid back, and he puts me at ease every time I watch his videos. So I look forward to checking out what he comes up with every day, and he keeps cranking out good stuff. So Robert, thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. I'm glad I'm getting some support in the VC from not only you, but like Glenn Kellaway and Shannon Talks Music. Three people that have been more than generous with their comments to me, and I can't thank them all enough. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, now we're on to Billy Joel, and Billy Joel is an interesting character to me because I don't know how to define him perfectly. He is I would call the American Elton John in a way. Both piano-based musicians. They both are masters of melody, and they have these catchy choruses. They have that similarity going for them. They're hit machines. Both of them have had incredible success. They've even toured together at times. I believe in the 90s and then into the 2000s. They've had a tour called Face to Face, where they each have their piano out and they play some of their own songs. They play each other's songs. They sing some songs together. I've never seen Billy Joel live, so it's not like he's an all-time favorite of mine. That's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I can keep the video pretty short. He's only had 12 studio albums in his career. So, anyway, Billy has one up on Elton in that Billy Joel writes his own lyrics. Elton John does not. He has a collaborator, always has, mostly Bernie Taupin, but he's had others, Tim Rice and others over the years. What else do I have to say? And Billy, not only Elton John, he's a hybrid character, Billy Joel. He's got a little bit of McCartney in him with the melodies. Everything he touches is very melodic, like Paul. He's a little bit working class, like Bruce Springsteen, in a different way. He's a New York City through and through. He's sort of caught in the middle between being sophisticated and blue collar. Example, he wears a suit and tie with the sneakers. I mean, that's half and half. He writes about New York state of mind in an urban setting, sort of sophisticated. And then he's got Anthony works in the grocery store saving his pennies for someday. He's got the uptown girl, and he's got Brenda and Eddie are the fabulous steadies and the king and the queen of the prom. And I like the way he says Brenda, because he says Brender, and that's a New York thing as well. Big Shot, Dom Perignon, Spoon Up Your Nose, sort of a Richie type thing. And then you got the closing all the factories down in Allentown, which is the working class hero. He's a good songwriter, underrated lyricist in my opinion. Always has been, especially his early 70s work. Great stuff. I mean, I'm always going to take 70s over 80s. That's just the way I am. And even his 80s stuff is good, but his 70s stuff is his peak. He's got 3 albums in the 70s that are his 3 best albums, in my opinion. Like I said, I'm not the world's biggest Billy Joel fan. I've never gone to see him in concert. I do have 9 of his 12 studio albums, either on vinyl, CD, or in some cases both. His concerts have always sold out very quickly in the area where I live, which is the Philadelphia area. He is a monster here. His career was broke here by a DJ at WMMR. Before he broke nationally, Captain Jack, which is off his second album, sort of an underground hit here. It was always requested on the radio whenever he would go in concert. His concerts sold out like within an hour. He's played all the venues in Philadelphia over the years. I looked this up. He's played the Wells Fargo Center, the Spectrum, Citizens Bank, Veterans Stadium, and Lincoln Financial, which are all the big venues in the city. He has sold them out 47 times through the years, and only Bruce Springsteen's 51 tops that. So you can see he's a monster artist in the city of brotherly love. All right, Billy Joel, born in 1949 in Hicksville, Long Island. His first album came out in 1971. It's called Cold Spring Harbor. It was recorded in Los Angeles, and there was an error in the mixing of this album, and the songs ended up being played back too fast. His voice, by his own admission, sounds like Alvin and the Chipmunks, so this was not a great way to get out of the gate. He did have a song called She's Got Away, which I do like, and another one, Everybody Loves You Now. They're on this album, and they later turn up on the 1981 live album, Songs in the Attic, which are better recorded, obviously. So that's the way to listen to those particular songs. Next album is, and by the way, I don't have Cold Spring Harbor. Next album is 1973's Piano Man. This established Billy as a true balladeer. Not only the title track, about a lounge singer in California, encountering the different regulars that come into the bar. Great lyrics in that song. Good sing-along song as well. You got songs like You're My Home, a love song. You got Ballad of Billy the Kid, which has a reference to Oyster Bay, Long Island, where he grew up, and Captain Jack, which is a classic song about a heroin dealer. Powerful lyrics in that song. The opening track is also good, Traveling Prayer. It's an up-tempo country vibe number which features a violin, a banjo, and a honky-tonk piano. But it's really Piano Man, the title track, which only made it to number 25 on the charts. It would be fair to say this is his signature song, even early in his career. Details the loneliness and the mundane day-to-day existence in the bar scene. Classic lyric, you've got, it's 9 o'clock on a Saturday, the regular crowd shuffles in, there's an old man sitting next to me making love to his tonic and gin. Love those lyrics. The Piano Man, he talks. There's also a waitress practicing politics, better than drinking alone. Davey still in the Navy, probably will be for life. Just the kind of people you would meet in a bar. He really captures that existence, if you will, of people that are sort of lost. They're using the bar for their social scene. They're stuck. And Billy Joel saw it all when he was the Piano Man. 1973, a good album. Next up, we've got Street Life Serenade, 1974. There he is on the back cover, looking, he thinks cool. Anyway, this is an album I've really never connected to over the years. It's the last one recorded in Los Angeles before he came back to the East Coast. It's got The Entertainer, which is a really nice up-tempo number, and shows off his piano skills on this. And he actually got cynical a bit when he said, if you're going to have a hit, you got to make it fit, so they cut it down to 3:05. That's in reference to The Piano Man, which is 6.5 minutes, I believe, and they diced and sliced it up so it would fit into the AM market. And of course, you're not getting the full meaning of the song when they're taking half the lyrics out. So his way of nailing the record companies and the DJs across the country was to hit him with that line. Now, he was in a situation where if he didn't have a hit pretty soon, Columbia was probably going to drop him. And he references that in the song as well, The Entertainer. I may have won your heart. I won't be here in another year if I don't stay on the charts. So he's referencing to himself. He's got to start cranking out the hits, stay on the charts, or they're going to drop him. Los Angelinos is another good song about his experiences with the people in the city of LA. And Souvenir is a good song near the end of the album. It's a melancholy type, beautiful song. I think it's awesome. And I just played it today just to refresh my memory. I really like it a lot. Next, we've got Turnstiles from 1976. This is his first album back in the Big Apple. It celebrates his return to New York City. He kicks it off with a song called Say Goodbye to Hollywood. Of course, he's leaving Hollywood, coming back to New York. That was inspired by his love of the Ronettes, a girl group in the early 60s. It's got that same tempo and style of music. This album is loaded with New York references. Song New York State of Mind, Miami 2017, I've Seen the Lights Go Out on Broadway. New York State of Mind, you've got references to the New York Times, the Daily News, Chinatown, Riverside, the Hudson River Line. So he's singing, he's glad to be home, and he's singing and highlighting those landmarks around the city. In Miami 2017, I've seen the lights go out on Broadway. He manages to get all the boroughs in the song lyrics. I've seen the Empire State laid low. They held a concert out in Brooklyn. He's talking about 42nd Street, Queens, the Bronx, Manhattan. He lays it all out in that song. It's a sort of a futuristic song. Of course, 2017's past now, but back in 1976, it was far off in the future. What else? Prelude, Angry Young Man, is a song that shows off his piano skills. It starts out with a real fast-paced piano number, and it goes into the Angry Young Man, which is, he's talking about himself. So, great songs. What else is on here that's worthy? I like this whole album. You got James, I Love These Days, Summer Highland Falls. These are all good songs. So, the Turnstiles album from 1976. Next, we've got his masterpiece, The Stranger, from 1977. This is one of the best of the late 70s in my book. It didn't win the Grammy in 77 because Rumors was taking all the awards that year. And Hotel California was also out at that same time. Saturday Night Fever. 77 was a big year. Asia. There was a ton of albums out. This kind of got overlooked. It didn't really get overlooked because it's his biggest selling album, but award time, it wasn't recognized maybe the way it should have been. It's wall-to-wall classics, 8 songs. They're all outstanding. The Stranger, of course, you have that whistling thing which leads into the song. The lyric goes, we all have a face that we hide away forever. Take them out and show ourselves when everyone is gone. Some are satin, some are steel, some are silk, some are leather. They're the faces of the stranger, but we love to try them on. And he's talking about, do we really ever know who the other person really is? You put on a front for whoever you're with at the time. At least that's what he's saying. You have your satin and silk, which is the soft side, and the leather, which is the tough exterior. And you should take them out and show yourself when everyone is gone. So that's when you really find out who you are. You look in the mirror and say, am I really the stranger, or is this me? That's just my interpretation. Deep down. Faces of the Stranger. It's a title track. Great song. Other classics on here. You got the love song, All-Timer, Just the Way You Are. Vienna, which is a cool song. What else do we have? The great Scenes from an Italian Restaurant. Brenda and Eddie with the Fabulous Steadies. It's like 3 suites into one. An epic Billy Joel song. With the checkerboard tablecloth, and you can just picture where they're at by the imagery that he's using in the song. Fantastic songwriting. Great music, too. Only the Good Die Young. Catholicism. He's trying to have sex with a young girl. Like Virginia. Cool name. Come on, Virginia. Show me a sign. Send up the signal. I'll throw you a line. The stained glass curtain you're hiding behind never lets in the sun. Only the good die young. So don't save yourself. Have a good time. Anyway, what else do we have on here? She's Always a Woman is another good song I like on this album. This is about love and betrayal. Probably his first wife, who rumor has it raked him over financially. She was his manager, and who knows, I know it ended badly. Some of these lyrics: she can kill with a smile, she can wound with her eyes, she can ruin your faith with her casual lies, she can lead you to love, she can take you or leave you, she'll ask for the truth, but she'll never believe you, and she'll promise you more than the Garden of Eden, then she'll carelessly cut you and laugh while you're bleeding. Some good, solid, biting lyrics there by Mr. Billy Joel. So I think this is his best album, and it's not even close. But the next year, 1978, he actually wins the Grammy for Best Album for 52nd Street, which really, all the praise came his way in 78. He probably would have got more in 77, but it was the year of Rumors and Fleetwood Mac. So this was a payback time. Not that it's not a good album, it is. This is definitely more sophisticated and jazzy in the arrangements. Still great songs. Big hit with My Life. What else do we have under? Big Shot, Stiletto, Rosalinda's Eyes, Honesty. I mean, one after the other. Until the Night, which is a Righteous Brothers tribute, I believe. Just fantastic songs. The title, 52nd Street, refers to the part of town in the past that was the jazz center of New York. It's also where his record label, Columbia, was headquartered, on 52nd Street at the time of release. It's since moved. So, real good song, real good album, 52nd Street. So that wraps up his 1970s output. We go into the 80s. Comes out with Glass Houses. He's throwing the rock. There's the glass breaking. This, he's going with the times here. The punk and new wave movement hit around this time, and he made some edgier songs for him. More of a rocking, driving beat. Songs like It's Still Rock and Roll to Me. Sometimes a Fantasy. You May Be Right. Good, I like Don't Ask Me Why. A lot of good songs on here. Glass Houses, 1980. Then we go, this is when I stopped buying CDs, and we go to 1982, The Nylon Curtain. That's when I stopped buying albums, not CDs. These are the CDs. This is Billy Joel's own personal favorite recording, he says. He worked tirelessly on this album. He was happy with it. It's what he accomplished. He set out to do something, and this is what he got out of it. Goodnight Saigon is a particular favorite. Vietnam vets. A powerful song about Marines bonding all the way from training camp to combat. Solid. Very emotional in concert with the lights and the swaying and the flags. It's a powerful song. Allentown's on this album. Working class song. It's an anthem about the decline of the manufacturing industry in the United States, especially in the Northeast and the Rust Belt states. Beginning of the Rust Belt, matter of fact. Pressure, that was an MTV video that was a big hit. Scandinavian Skies is on here, which is Billy Joel's reflection of experimentation briefly in his life with heroin. He said he did it and swore off it. It was just the highest he's ever been, and he doesn't want to go back. So good thing he didn't, because he has a problem with addiction to begin with, and he could have been a goner. Next we have 1983's An Innocent Man. This is a tribute to doo-wop and soul music and the music of Billy Joel's youth. You've got songs like and a lot of MTV videos out of this. This was right in the height of MTV, 1983, and he joined in the party. The Longest Time is clearly a doo-wop song. Tell Her About It, this is homage to Motown. Uptown Girl is a little Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons type song. That's the one with Christy Brinkley in it. Huge video. Keeping the Faith, Leave a Tender Moment Alone. Good album. He starts, though, winding down here, in my opinion, as far as quality output. It's still okay, but it's not his best material. Next is 1986, The Bridge, which I do not own. It does have a couple of good songs on it, like A Matter of Trust. This Is the Time. He did a duet called Baby Grand with Ray Charles, his idol. and it's an okay album. 1989, Stormfront. This is with the song We Didn't Start the Fire, which is the one where he jams about 100 references of history and pop culture from 1949 to 89, which is the time this was, and Billy Joel had turned 40, and he wanted to look back and see all of the all the famous events that happened in the 40 years of his life. I think it's a clever song. It hit number one. We Didn't Start the Fire off of Stormfront. There's also a hit for Garth Brooks on here, a cover song called Shameless. Not really a big fan, but Garth Brooks turned it into a country hit. There's other songs that are dedicated to Christy Brinkley, who was his wife by this time. That's Not Her Style. I Go to Extremes. The Downeaster Alexa is about a fishing boat. Alexa is the name of his daughter, and he used that for the name of the boat. And So It Goes. That's near the end of the record. It's the last song on the record, and that is about a doomed relationship, a failed relationship with supermodel Elle Macpherson. So, his last album, River of Dreams, 1993. I like the title track. I don't own that one either. I gave it a spin the other day. I do like the title track. It's very gospel and spiritual based. It's an excellent song. But other than that, it's a flat album. As far as the top 10, I'm not going to put Cold Spring Harbor or River of Dreams in it. So they're out. I don't own them, and they're not worthy of being in my top 10. Number 10 is The Bridge. Number 9, Street Life Serenade. 8, Stormfront. 7, Innocent Man. 6, The Nylon Curtain. 5, Glass Houses. 4, Piano Man. 3, 52nd Street. 2, Turnstiles. And 1, The Stranger. Looking back at it now, it's really hard to believe that Billy Joel's last recorded album with lyrics was 1993. So that's 28 years ago. He was only 44 years of age, and he went in a different direction. He did put out an album of just classical compositions. That was in 2001, but nothing since. And it's a shame, because that's really an early retirement for somebody of his stature. You would think he'd have more to say in the last 28 years, putting it down, and maybe he's saving it for some grand finale, who knows. But he's been touring pre-COVID. So anyway, an interesting artist, successful, accessible artist, commercial, which is not a bad thing in my book. A lot of people write people off that are too successful and say they're too commercial and they play to the masses. But whatever, if you like the music, that's the bottom line. His success, every album of his, from The Stranger through River of Dreams, was in the top 10 on the charts. So quite a job. He had 4 number 1 albums as well. He's won some Grammys. So that wraps up my look at Billy Joel. Thank everyone for watching. Feel free to comment below. Subscribe if you want. And thanks again to Glenn Kellaway from The Basement and Shannon Talks Music for their shout-outs and encouragement, and keeping me thinking I can do this. Thank you very much. Take care.